1001, 1002. Oh, is it time again for another update? Well, whew, we're not going to fall over as we begin.
Careful.
But yeah, I figured, let's start out on this day 21 by giving a little bit of a kind of general movement update. So, already filmed like a walking thing, but just for kind of a little bit more context on the general kind of movement. So, in terms of, extension, have started for a while now, kind of pulling back on this, and I can push down on my leg to try and get a little bit of negative extension out of it, which is definitely just good for general, like, being able to lock my leg out, which is helpful for walking and just, like, really just general balance everywhere. In terms of, like, being able to bend my knee, I've been kind of measuring how far back I can get based off of how far the back of my ankle goes onto my kneecap on the other side, and I can get like maybe a little bit past the end of the kneecap. So also pretty pleased about that. Kind of just slowly working back more and more, and like every time that I ice, kind of get up and then do like another stretch out to make sure that it doesn't get stiff. So for sure doing that, a lot of the time. So that's good. Also, now that my knee is like a little bit less swollen, I've been able to start testing like a couple of the things that were, particularly difficult before the test or before the surgery. So things like bending while it has weight on it. So doing actions like this, like first of all, can track straight over my knee, or over my foot, without having to think about it, which is a big difference between how it was before. But also like no crunching, no like popping as I am doing this. It's still kind of like stiff and a little bit sore, so I feel that, but it's very smooth, and I feel like confident going back into the extension, so that's good. Another one which was like particularly difficult was, and oddly, in trying to do like some of the warrior and like lunge poses, my calf is the thing which is extremely tight, which prevents me from doing a bunch of this stuff. But so doing like forward lunges where I can't like get quite into it fully, but where my back leg is bent, putting a little bit of weight on it, and then like moving like that was brutal. So you could just feel and hear audibly like the bone just like scraping up against each other. But now feels very smooth. So really happy about that. I think that once the swelling comes down a little bit more, that'll for sure be nice. But then also just in terms of like general balance around, feeling a lot more comfortable about being able to just sort of like balance on one leg and move around on it, which just for simple things like, getting dressed in the morning is huge, because like now I can actually like stand and put like pants on a little bit more easily. But it's been a couple of weeks, and I know that we're all thinking about the real questions. What is the status of being able to get back on the bike? As you can see behind, been getting pretty close in with the bike on that thing, so can't chair away. So let's see. New test. Didn't even trip on the way out. Swing old Bessie. I'm feeling pretty optimistic, so hopefully this will go well. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Smooth as silk. This is going to be a game changer. Now might be time to start setting up the other device so that I can have a real bike. So that's pretty exciting. So dope. All right. Very happy about that. Starting to make some real progress. And maybe the last thing to kind of call out as we are filming out is just sort of like stair stuff. So, although it feels weird to do just some flip-flops. But like starting to feel a little bit more comfortable on stairs, like walking up, I feel still definitely want to like hold on to the wall. I would not do that without holding on to something, because I just want to make sure that my form stays good. But even going like down is starting to feel okay. It's definitely not like an every time kind of thing, only when I'm feeling like loosey-goosey and good, but coming along. All right, walking test for today. Not gonna let the rain flow tonight. So yeah, can definitely walk a little bit more normally now. The swelling on the knees has come down a lot. It's actually not too far different from like how swollen it was constantly before. But also I think that I can kind of hold my foot up a little bit higher, which makes it easier to kind of swing my step more normally, which definitely makes it easier to walk around more naturally. So definitely a step in the right direction. Got all the way around the block yesterday. So we'll probably try and do a similar thing today. So yeah. Foot update. So progress, I think, is, happening. It's a little bit slow. And also, I feel like it doesn't really come through very well on here. But last time, I was showing how I could move my foot up more independently. I do think that it kind of takes a second to warm this like up and it gets tired. So it's kind of interesting. I can move like my toes a little bit more independently. I honestly don't know if I could do that before. But it feels more responsive to like move my foot kind of up and down, which I think also is what aids the it being a little bit easier to walk. But I definitely like need to sit here and like work at it. And I'm trying to do that actively, like especially when I'm icing and stuff, to just flex and try and get the muscle going. Another interesting thing I noticed, I've definitely got like some bruise that is going across here that I can't really explain. So I don't know if that's like related with the nerve pain or what, but it's somewhat interesting. Also, scar is definitely coming, along nicely. These things are annoying. They're like hanging on by a thread, but I can't really just pull them off. But it's starting to, resolve. So that's pretty nice. Right. So some more general updates as I sit here on my awkwardly squat chair here. Kind of have to brace my head against the back of the wall in order to not just fall over backwards a little bit. So, room for improvement on this current setup. But today is Wednesday. Slept better last night, which is probably why I felt up to actually doing an update today. Still definitely been having a hard time sleeping. Getting less of the sort of electric kind of shocks through my leg, and more of just sort of general aching, but still kind of just keeping me up. But hoping that's, an improvement kind of over time. I initially ran out of my gabapentin, which is like a nerve pain medication. And so I was off of that for like a half a day. So also maybe that helps to contribute to why I wasn't sleeping particularly well, but hard to say. So yeah, but like, generally speaking, as kind of demonstrated in all the other things, I kind of covered most of it, but just mobility feeling a lot better. Generally speaking, I'm definitely eager now that it is feeling better to start doing more, kind of active recovery and trying to look for more kind of intensive training stuff that I can do. Would like to, start adding more resistance to the different exercises and whatnot that's kind of going on. But not really sure the best way to do that. So going to talk with the PT folks on Friday next time I see them. Also very keen to try doing the electric shock kind of to the muscles thing on my shin again. Tried that like a couple of weeks ago, but didn't really get much response. But now that I can lift my leg up a little bit, maybe that'll be helpful. So yeah, but just kind of generally progressing along. Yeah, still, I would say that like just the nerve pain is still the biggest kind of blocker out there. But generally speaking, kind of feel on the right path. So we'll see how sleeping goes tonight. But 21 days in, maybe you can start getting on like the bike inside soon. So, keeping on, keeping on.